What's going on, everybody? So we can go in. How you doing? I think we're about ready to get started. Yep. All right, let's do some local runs. I don't know when Iberia is going to be here. I really don't. Could be, I don't know, could be weeks. I hope it's not months. So I did swap us over to, we're going to be in the MAN TGX Euro 6, and this is, so there was an MAN in base game, early days, might not have been there day one. Ernie, what's happening? Might not have been there day one, but I think it was in the game fairly early, and then the Euro 6 was added not too long ago, maybe a year ago. Because I know it's advanced. When you do the skin for this, you have to do the multiple parts. Early trucks, hey, Fried. The early trucks, like the simple model, they call it, the whole skin, everything is rendered on one transparency. But for the advanced models, like the side panels and sometimes the spoilers and different stuff, it's all rendered in different image files. So this is one of the advanced trucks, but it is a base game truck. So I think we're just about ready to get started. And I put, what trailer did I put on? I put the intermodal trailer on it. And you can see in the thumbnail, I don't know about this, but you can see in the thumbnail, the box that they put on our intermodal is the same color as part of the skin. So I don't know about that. I've never seen that before. Fried, I think we're good to go on multiplayer. I tried it out today. We had, I don't know. It took a minute to get everything configured, but it seems that we've got everything configured now, so it is up and running. Somebody will need to add you in the MP manager, I think. You might be able to add yourself, but somebody might need to add you. But if so, I think everybody's an admin. In fact, anybody who's an admin can make you an admin as well, and that will smooth things out for you. If you're trying to do stuff and you're the only one in the server, if you're an admin, you can sort it out yourself. All right, so if we take used plastic to Dijon, it is 15 grand, 500K, but we will go, we're in France, we'll go into Belgium through Luxembourg. I think we can discover this city as well. Do you have to download all the mods first? Only the ones you don't have, or the ones that you have a different version of. All right, here we go. So what's this thing look like? Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this. I like the new brand. I do. I think it's, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the old one was just old. I'll note. But I do like this. And I do like this truck, too. All right, so we still got wipers and lights on. There we go. Still got wipers and lights on. We'll get rid of that. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. And I think we're ready. Lift axles up. Lift axles up. Here we go. And Fried, I think, yeah, I either DM'd you or it's in the private Farm Sim channel, but I think I made you, I set it up so, thanks, Fried. I think I set you up so that you have access to download mods directly from the server, which I found is the best way to confirm that you have exactly the same one as you need. Because even sometimes if you get them from the mod hub, they can be a little bit off. But if you download them directly from the server, you always know you're getting exactly the correct file. I set it up on an EU server. Hey, Caden, how you doing? I set it up on an EU server because I figured most of you are on that side of the Atlantic, so if anybody's going to have lag, it would make sense that the bigger part of the group would not be laggy. So when I was on today, I was noticing some lag, but it could be peak hours. I got one speed upgrade on the server, and I don't know if the, you know what I mean? They're trying to like talk me into the second upgrade, the turbo boost. So we'll see. It could have just been peak hours. And some of these older parts of the map. And so were there any parts of France that were in base game? Like, did it stop right at the border, right at the frontier, or were there a couple sort of like cities that were right over the border? Were they in base? Can't remember. Oh, this is the worst. Come on. We gonna make it? Barely. Hang on. Let's take a look at this before we have problems. Yeah, let's Let's see if we can take another swing at this. Well, first off, is there any traffic out here? We're going in spotter mode. Nope, can't. All right, so let's get back out of here. Let's see if we can swing this thing in a little straighter. This is the... I think of this as the video game part of the map. Because there are some parts that really feel like a mini game, you know? Feels like more of a puzzle than a sim. No lag on your end? Good, good. That was kind of the goal. That was kind of the goal, is that if anybody was going to be lagging, it would be the one person on this side of the Atlantic, and everybody else would have a good frame rate. So it was, I don't know, we'll see. I need more than one data point to confirm that. I hope that's not the case. All right, that's better. Third person for the win. There's neutral. Hop back in here. Oh, no worries, Fried. Hey, I wanted to ask you if you're still playing around with Division 2, DM me if you're going to be on and look for somebody else to play with, because I'm always looking for people to do some missions with. That game is so much fun with people, and it's kind of, I don't know, man. I've got enough hours in it. I don't want to say I'm played out, but I've done just about everything. So it's, for me right now, it's only fun to play with other people. And you know what they say, though? They say if a game is only fun to play with your friends, it's not the game that's fun, it's your friends. I think there's some truth to that. Yeah, it's a different kind of game. It really is. It's not really much of anything. It's kind of an RPG game, but not really. It's kind of a shooting game, but not really. It's a bit of a mess. I do love it, though. If you really want to see the mess, try Breakpoint. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That's the one they really screwed up. Because Ubisoft is making everything into Assassin's Creed now. So they took like a stealth tactical shooter and made it into a loot box game. People said, wait, what? They really did a number on that game. I guess on the franchise is a better way to say it. Okay, right on. So, lights off. Wipers off. Engine off. Let's get loaded up. Okay, cool. It was the box that we got, or the box that I got when I set up the thumbnail, was exactly the same color as the base coat on the truck. I was really confused. I've always wondered why, right? Because the game has, I'd say, a pretty significant amount of detail. And I've always wondered why these cargo boxes, let's go third person again. I've wondered why there isn't more variety in these cargo boxes. And I've wondered why as many fake companies as there are in the game now, there's got to be over 100 of the SCS corporations that represent like all the different depots and yards and ferry lines and various other things. I've wondered why they didn't come up with a couple fake intermodal companies so that we could have different cargo boxes on here, different intermodal containers, a little bit more variety, and also some branding and graphics on the sides rather than just colors. I don't know. It seems like it could be done. I mean, I know modders have done it, so you would think SCS could do it as well. We want to go, let me go first person here. We want to go to the left here. So what else is going on? Yeah, I was going to stream Farm Sim today, but I don't know. I'm really careful about burning out on the Western Shore because that's, as far as I can tell, that's the only map that I'll be playing on 17. So if I burn out on that, I sort of burn out on 17, and I prefer 17 to 19. I've got 19 uninstalled at the moment. We had that cursed save game. It's not the map itself. It was Purbeck Valley, Knaveswell. Our save game ended up, I don't know, something was wrong with that save game. So I uninstalled FS19. It wasn't a rage uninstall or anything. It was just, I wanted to do a clean reinstall, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. It is currently uninstalled. But can do some FS19 live stream as well. So I'm just being careful with 17. And other than that, man, it is absolute doldrums right now. It is a dead zone. Even the Rad Brad that I watch, and he is a 100% pro streamer. There's an estimate he made like 1.7 million last year. Million with a mill. Hell yeah, man. Good for you. But he's even kind of dead zone right now. He's playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, and that game it wasn't a flop, but I think it was a disappointment. I think the bloom is off the rose for Assassin's Creed. But that cat is, I mean, he's a pro. He's got access to stuff pre-release, and he gets early drops and promotional, like paid promotional content, all kinds of stuff. And even he's a little bit thin at the moment. Did we want to go down here? God damn it. This is how we're starting the stream. Oh, come on now. All right, well, maybe it'll let me loop around the other way. So it's really, really slow right now. Nothing on the horizon. Shellington? Yeah, Shellington is one of the first maps that really, really resonated with me. Colbert Park, Shellington, and Selby Farms by Lancey Boy. Yeah, those were the maps that really kind of opened my eyes to what farm sim could be back in the before times. Yeah, and that's probably a good enough excuse as any to reinstall 19. Oh, careful. Is to try that map out. And I haven't been on it in probably 2 years, maybe longer. So yeah, that could work. All right, so maybe we'll stream that next week. Yeah, it's amazing to see. I mean, when you step back and sort of see the long time version of the arcs that we go through as gamers, right? Like when I got back into this 3 years ago, it's going to be 4 now. I keep saying 3, but it's going to be 4 at some point. When I got back into gaming, I took a long break. I was into gaming when I was a kid, then I was into console gaming, sort of in the middle, right? But there was a very social aspect. I didn't really think of myself as a gamer. It was just kind of a thing you did with your friends on a Friday or Saturday night. And then I stepped away from it completely for a long time. Farbsip Gaming, how you doing? What's happening? I stepped away from it for a long time. I got back into it via Truck Sim, right? And then that led to Farm Sim, and that led to sort of Simcade Racing, Project Cars 2, that sort of thing. And I didn't anticipate the arc, like how it would flow, but to be into proper sim racing, multiplayer sim racing via iRacing, to be getting into flight sim and VAT sim now. I never thought I would be back in flight sim, and I definitely didn't think I would be flying commercial aircraft in a multiplayer environment. So there is an arc to what we do. You know, I don't think things stay static. And I don't ever want to lock myself in to feel like, well, because I was into this type of gaming, or because I am into this type of gaming, that it's the only type of gaming I'll ever be into. I want to let it keep evolving. And I didn't think that I would be gaming the way I'm gaming now when I got back into it. I thought, oh, maybe just trucks, right? Maybe a little farm, and then it's just kind of expanded from there. So, gotta let yourself evolve. I think you gotta continue to grow as a person, man. It's gonna take forever to get there if they keep us on these little 2-lane roads. But in fairness, it's my own fault for being here because I missed that turn. So yeah, the Rad Brad is streaming a game that dropped several months ago and wasn't really that impressive when it did drop, so I'm comfortable saying that this is just a very, very slow time for gaming. But we'll keep experimenting, and I'm continuing to, figure it out. I don't know what's going on with the channel. I never know whether it's something I'm doing, whether it's just something that's seasonal. Because I know this time of year and like high summer, July and August, always kind of slow. I know in the summer it's people on holiday. I don't know what the deal is in the winter, my winter, different in the southern hemisphere. But for me, it's winter. I don't know why things would slow down. I would think that with people being inside and, you know, less to do, that they'd be consuming more content, more media. Yeah, I think it's super slow right now, Fried. I really do. I'm really looking forward to Iberia. That's one of the reasons I wanted to stay in France, is so we're completely teed up. I mean, I know it's not a problem teleport to a local garage or just tilde and use the speed camera to get there. But, you know, I try to play realistically. So we'll see. And I don't know. I think some of the games that came like out the other end of the pipeline in late 2020, I think they were maybe forecast to be done a lot sooner, and they got pushed back because of COVID. So I don't know whether like we've reset to a new cycle and games will continue to drop at their regular rate after a delay, or if the content that we got in the third and fourth quarter of 2020 was like all that was sort of done or nearly done in the before times, and now there's not going to be a whole lot of content dropping at all in 2021 just because they can't get it made. They can't get it done. I don't know. Could be either one. Neither would surprise me. Oh yeah, look how steep these ramps are. I'm not complaining. It is just, it's an amazing contrast between the newer parts of the game and the older parts. And can we get over here? I don't think we have to. We got our own lane. Beautiful. Kerbal was fun. I did enjoy playing that with y'all. And I went back and completely rebuilt my space station. And I do want to focus on getting a big fuel tank on the end up there. I'll take it up as the third stage of another heavy lift rocket. I'll take it up as the third stage, and then I'm just going to drop the engine, let that decay via orbit and burn up in the atmosphere. So we'll leave the tank bolted to the station, hopefully full of fuel. If not, we'll fill it up one lift at a time with the extra fuel that we have after we get into orbit, bringing parts up. And once that tank is full, then I do want to, in a live stream, I do want to build a lunar lander. Yeah, it's tricky, Fried. You gotta be a space nerd. I don't know if you like went to rocket camp when you were a kid or if you were into space, but a lot of that stuff. Well, I am autistic, so if I can get my hands on any type of like obscure data or minutia, if you give me a book that's like the history of the Apollo program, I'll just read through it cover to cover over and over. So a lot of those things are like, I just know the names of the pieces and the parts and what they did and sort of what they look like. So for me, when I'm looking through the parts catalog in Kerbal, I can sort of spot that stuff. So I think the nerd background helps. But other than that, yeah, it's got to be overwhelming, like you said, to figure out what this stuff does. Yeah, you know, Fried, I have an interesting brain. I don't know how I know anything, but I seem to know things. It's very... you hear people talk about a fugue state. I don't know, man. I'm like guided by voices or something. I know things, but I don't know how I know them. I don't know where I learned them. I don't know how I know them. I just know them. It's very strange. So I want to build a lunar lander, and essentially I'm going to duplicate the methodology of the Apollo program, which is 3-stage rocket to get to Earth orbit. And then you flip the thing around, do your translunar injection. That's an amazing phrase. I love it. Do your translunar injection, get into lunar orbit with your lunar orbiter, separate the lunar lander, that goes down to the surface. You do your excursion, and then the top part of the lunar lander separates, flies back up into lunar orbit via small solid rocket boosters, docks with the lunar orbiter, and then the lunar orbiter leaves lunar orbit, gets back into Earth orbit, and then the crew compartment detaches and descends via parachute. So that's the Apollo workflow, and I'm going to try to duplicate that in the vehicle assembly building, one piece at a time, and then we'll rotate the various stages, invert them, because some of them go up, some of them launch upside down, and then rotate, turn around, and rejoin in orbit. So we'll get all that figured out, but I want to do that in the live stream, probably with a glass of wine, and see if we can get to the moon and back in one try. I know when I played Kerbal before I did it, but it's been a minute. Slide over. Do we need to get... No, we don't have to go all the way over. Oh, right on. And you know what? I don't know. I don't know if you're learning from me as much as we're all learning together. Because, like I said, I don't know how I know what I know. That I guess, you know, common sense, process of elimination, trial and error, just figuring it out. So yeah, we'll do some more Kerbal. I want to do some more Hunter Call of the Wild. That's a fun game. It doesn't seem like it would fit with the channel, but the couple times that I've done it, it's done okay. So we'll do some more Hunter Call of the Wild. Now, I do have 4 maps set aside that I haven't been on at all. And that is Medved Taiga, which is like the Russian Arctic map. I haven't been on Hirschfeld. I think that's one of the original maps. And it's supposed to be in Germany somewhere, but it's a game park. So it's got animals from all over the world that have been, right? Like if you LARP it, if you role play it, it's got animals from all over the world that have been brought there. They're hosted there, and that's how you're hunting things that aren't native to that part of the world. And the other one is Cuatro Colinas, I want to say, in Spain. And then the African map, the proper safari map. I haven't done any of those at all, so if I did ever stream those, I would be seeing them for the first time as we were streaming them. Easily overwhelmed? I can relate, brother. But you know what? I do it to myself on purpose. German map is base game? I thought it was. It seems, I don't want to say the worst. That's not the right word for it, because the whole game is pretty tight. But it does seem, in the same way that there are areas of Euro Truck that you can see that are just more well-developed than other parts. As the developers figure things out, of course, the content they build is going to be better. So, yep. But I want to get on that map. I want to finish my lodge. I set up so I've got all my North American trophies in one lodge, and then everything else is going in the other one. So I've got the rooms sort of very carefully segregated. And it looks like there are just enough mounts in each room to have a good spread of all the animals for each of the areas. So we can do that at some point. Go to one of those new maps and just gradually try to fill another room in the lodge. And yeah, man. And Flight Sim. I'm not giving up on Flight Sim. I think with VAT Sim, X-Plane could be a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting, because it really is pretty intense. And I've done some test recordings. I didn't do anything with them. I just reviewed them afterwards to see what the sound quality was like and how it all worked out. And you can hear there's definitely an intensity. Sometimes the controllers get a little shouty, you know, but hearing my own voice, you can tell when I'm completely overwhelmed, because you're trying to fly these very realistic aircraft, which is not entirely easy. They're designed to be flown by 2 people rather than 1. So something like takeoff, you would have one person physically flying the aircraft and another person handling things like bringing up the landing gear, turning off the lights, that sort of stuff. I'm doing that all myself. So it's a little tricky. Plus I'm flying that MD-80, which is not the easiest aircraft to fly, of course. Glutton for punishment. So flying the aircraft and also controlling all the systems on the aircraft, that can be tricky. And then you add in talking to ATC, and the one that gets me all the time is as you become airborne on the runway, tower tells you to contact departure. And you have to, as you're trying to fly the plane, you have to get another frequency dialed into the radio, get over to that new controller, tell them you're with them now, and then whatever instructions they give you, hear those instructions, read them back, and then begin acting on them. And it is, I mean, I know it can be done because I hear people on VATSIM doing it, but at the moment it's very, very tricky for me. So you can hear that in my voice, and rather than being concerned about that or embarrassed by that, I'm hoping that that brings a little, you know what I'm saying? Brings a little fire to the episode. When we were landing in Glasgow the other day, kind of had that feeling, right? Like an uncertain outcome. And I think that adds to any content that I'm watching. I really like it when you don't know exactly how things are going to go. There's a little bit of uncertainty. So we'll see how it all works out. But that is, yep. And then the other thing is train sim. And easy. Because we got those high speed routes. Come on now. Let's find a good gear. Because we got those high speed routes. and I wanted to try those out when TSW2 dropped. I sort of forgot that sometimes the most interesting sessions that I have in train sim, the most interesting train sim content for me, is when you're doing a lot of stuff out of the train, like running around, hooking up, and throwing switches and that sort of thing. So with the high-speed routes, I really need to get over there. With the high-speed routes, you get in the train and you more or less just turn it on and kind of stand back. But maybe we need to move back to more, I don't know, straight on, huh? Tell me at the last minute. Maybe we need to do more in and out of the train stuff, more yard work. Could be a little bit more interesting. So we'll just keep figuring out. And I need to, I mean, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Because at some point I'm just going to need to do, nope, back over here. At some point I'm going to need to do my first Twitch stream. And I just need to do it, you know. But what I think about every time, I'm ready to pull the trigger. It's all teed up. The SDK, the API, everything's plugged in. It's all ready to go. I just need to hit the button and do a Twitch stream. But my concern is the first time I post that link in the Discord that not as many people are going to show up. Because I've been on the YouTube for so long, and to switch over to a different platform, you know, if you don't have it installed, if you don't have an account, that sort of thing. So that's one of the reasons I'm holding back, you know, is I don't want to make it difficult for you to connect via the stream. But I know at some point I'll have to do that. Keon, how you doing? How's your weekend going? These turns are so tight. Good, good. Glad to hear it. I'm trying to think of the order that these were released in. So base game dropped, and then I feel like Scandinavia and Going East, did those drop together? Sounds about right. And then what was the next one? Was it Vive la France? I can't remember. TSW2? Yeah, I certainly have. We were just talking about it. So I guess I'm trying to figure out where in the release order Vive la France was. Yeah, I'm going to have to, Ernie. I think you're right. I think you're right. And it's, I don't know. I'm sentimental, I guess, because part of me thinks any subs that I lose on the YouTube side, I can pick up and sort of match on the Twitch side, hopefully. But that still feels like, I don't know, man. The channel has always been about the audience. I'm certainly not doing it to make money. So it's always been about the audience, and I do feel kind of a loyalty to you, because we've been growing slow together, you know? So I don't necessarily want to do anything that would be inconvenient for, right through there, inconvenient for people that I feel have been super supportive of what I've been up to over the past couple years. Yeah, I mean, if I had the bandwidth, I would do both. But there's no, golly, there's no aggregator that I've found as far as signal. So it's impossible for me to have one data stream outbound that would then split one to YouTube and one to Twitch. I could stream to both platforms simultaneously, but I would need, that would be like all my bandwidth. And I don't know if my Wii processor could handle it. I've got a i7-9900, which is, it's decent. I mean, it's a couple years old now. It's not as hot as it once was. But I don't know if it could handle that. So that would be, oh, and also I'd have to monitor two chats, two stream healths. I don't know. I'm only one man. So we'll see. We'll just let it play out, see how it goes. Yeah, this feels very, I don't know. I mean, we're definitely into the Vive la France DLC now. So we are into something that was released sometime after base game, but it it does feel... It doesn't feel contemporary compared to... what would it be? Road to the Black Sea, I think, is the most recent one. It doesn't feel the same. And I'm really curious what Iberia is going to look and feel like. Because I know some of the pro mod parts of Spain were over the top. I mean, it's not quite trolling. What's the word for it? Showing off, definitely. But there was... Oh, what was... Yeah, there was a mod. There was a mod for FS15 by Busa. Sound about right? Yeah, it was a slurry spreader. And once you loaded the thing, your frame rate went to like 1. It was like that mod contest planter for 17. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was unbelievably detailed and had all these little pieces and parts, and you could adjust like the spread of the cedars, right? You could manually configure your row spread, right? And it had all these amazing things, but it totally killed your frame rate, and nobody really liked it. So it seemed like one of those things that it's like it exists just to be itself, just kind of showing off. So some of the cities in Spain and pro mods had that same feel to them. They were so overwhelming, and they were so rough on frame rate. You wonder, like, did anybody vet this? Did anybody... Who approved this? Who didn't get the memo? So it'll be nice to contrast those same cities in the SCS DLC for Spain compared to pro mods. And I love pro mods, but I know it's built by a crew of volunteers, and I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Some of the Spain areas felt like they were deliberately over the top, right? Like somebody's building content to their standards rather than to the standards of the community. They're building cities they like to drive in rather than cities that the community can drive in. So I think it'll be better in terms of frame rate for sure, but I'm really curious what the new flow is, the new methodology. Colorado has me concerned, but I think a lot of that is the trees. That's why it does get so easy. That's why it does get so stuttery. Are we... hopefully we're not back to this detour thing. I backed it way, way, way down, and for the longest time we weren't getting detours every trip, but I feel like we are again. Just found a way to play Java MC on an old school PC. Hell yeah, man. Get ready to turn left. You got it. I know, hang on, let me do this. I know there's a port of Jane's years ago, and it may have been via MicroProse. Yeah, that sounds about right. But I know Jane's Defense had several combat flight sims years and years ago. And they were ported over recently. I guess some people still love them. That's that Richard Burns rally syndrome. Some people just absolutely love them. Can we get through here? Yep. Almost hit that bollard right there. Almost. Some people still love them. And they've got to be like, I don't know, 25 years old? Older? And I see games like that, and it's like it just doesn't compare to DCS. But people really like that retro stuff. I tried to get into the Age of Empires 4K, the re-release, the Ultimate Edition. I couldn't get there, man. It's just a different time in my life. That's what I was saying before, you know? You just evolve. You grow. Your old school account. Oh, okay. I was reading that different. I thought you were saying your old school account. You know, old school. But you're talking about your old school account. I got you now. Still log into the laptop itself. I wonder if that predates always connected security. because nowadays it's just assumed that you've got a permanent high-speed internet connection. So that's the fastest and most accurate way to confirm ownership for everything. But there was a time we couldn't do that. And some people are very much opposed to that even now, that you buy a game, you pay $80 for a game. If your internet goes out, you can't play it. But I know some companies do they'll do like a 7-day clock or a 28-day clock where the sim or the app only has to check in periodically. It doesn't have to check in every single time you want to use it. So every time you can be online, or every time you sign in and you do have an internet connection, it resets the clock, because nobody's internet is going to be out for 28 days. But it does give you a little window that if it's just out for the afternoon or something, you can still use that app. Let's just turn into a very scenic trip. I feel like we've spent most of it on 2-lane. We haven't gotten a warning yet about being late, and I believe we're almost there. We do need to sleep, though. Wait. What? What's happening right now? Hang on. Let's go to the map. Let's go to the map. I think we need to go. Wow, we're right between zoom levels. I mean, it's a lot quicker to go back, but if we do, yeah. If we go back, we're going to run into the same problem. So I think we have to go this way, and that means we do. God, it's another 329K. We do have to sleep. But you know what? I think the only place we can sleep is down in the quarry. Are you kidding? I mean, it's the only place we're close to. I don't think we have enough. Yeah, because we're falling asleep right now. I don't think we're going to be able to make it to this toll booth here. All right, so let's go. Let's go down in the quarry. No. No. There we go. All right. I think that was what hooked me on this game. Yeah, we have to sleep here. I hope we make it. I think that was what hooked me on this game, was early days finding my way down into that quarry in Scotland, and then trying to find my way back out, back up top, and not enough grip and not knowing how to I don't know, drive the truck properly, level the truck up as far as engine and transmission. Didn't know about diff lock. Was diff lock even in the game? That was like 1.27 maybe? Thereabouts. I think one of the strangest things about this game is you get good at it in probably, I don't know, what would you say, 15 hours, 20 hours? And after that, you just have fun in it. There's really no, really, it's totally yellow. There's really no ongoing learning curve, and at no point is the game really particularly challenging or difficult. It's just super, super fun. Driving around in a truck. Yeah, I think we're just about to start dozing off. I hope we can make it to the quarry. I don't think it's too far up here, but we definitely need to get there as quickly as possible. Yep, that's it right there. All right, so we'll make it. And time, it is 23:05. Beautiful. So we'll wake up tomorrow like mid-morning, so we won't have too awful far to drive in the dark. Oh, the glass trailer. The Grail trailer. I don't know why they will not release the glass trailer as an ownable trailer. Man, I would pay for that. If they released it as a DLC, I would pay for that. It really is. It's, I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like the progression of intensity is probably this at the bottom, Not in a bad way, just at the bottom. And then one up from this is Train Sim. And then up from that is X-Plane. And then one level above that is X-Plane with Bat Sim. Fried, there is a rumor they are on the way. People have noticed that they are adding bus stations in some of the patches and updates, and there are bus stations in the DLC. I don't think it would be really that difficult to do at all, because the view from up here would essentially be the same, right? And I know Scania makes buses, Mercedes makes buses, MAN make buses, so they already have relationships with those companies. And the dispatch would be virtually the same. You would go to, right? You'd pick a route. Rather than picking a cargo, you pick a route. And then you have to go to one station in one city, pick up your passengers, and then you'd have to either do an express service all the way to another town and drop off, or you could carefully have a local service where you're stopping in a lot of little cities. I think that would be a lot of fun if you had to get off the freeway at like every city you went through, find your way to the bus station, and try to stick to a schedule. Try to stay on time as you're doing that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So this is a space right here, but I feel like the trigger is weird. I'm going to try to get in there, and if we can't get in there, then we'll go down to the big one. I know the big one down below, like in the lowest part of the quarry, I know that one's easy to get into, but this trigger it's a little bit tricky for me. Always has been. And this model that we're in right now is definitely one of the oldest parts of the map. Got it. All right, we're getting stopped. All right, parking lights on, windows down. All right, let's go third person. Oh, I do like the way this game looks. It may not be totally contemporary, but I don't know, man. It's just something about it. Nope. What's happening right now? Engine is off. Did we drift out of the trigger? Damn it, man. Hang on. Brakes off. Did we... What happened? Did we drift out of the trigger? Thought it said we were in it. All right. What was I saying? I've tried them all, Ernie, and I have to say there was one disqualifying feature about each of them. It was different for each one of them, but I really couldn't get there. We'll try this one more time. If it doesn't work, we'll head down to the lower level, because I know that trigger is like as big as a house. We can easily fit in there. Yeah, not giving it to me. Okay, no worries. So OMSI I really like. And I like that it's like the technical backbone of the game is really, really solid. I like that every button, every dial, every switch, everything has a feature and a function. I like that in any sim. So I really like that about OMSI. But the dealing with the passengers and the modeling of the passengers and the just hearing the same like voice clips playing over and over, that's kind of a buzzkill for me. Really takes me out of the immersion. Fernbus I really like because it's more city to city, and I like the idea of like getting the bags under the truck, right? Putting the bags under the bus and scanning barcodes, and right, you can get everybody on board, and then you don't have to deal with them again. You're not stopping at every stop in town. You just drive on to the next city. But I can't get it to run. I have constant Unreal 4 crashes, I think related to hardware and peripherals. So that one I couldn't get there. Fernbus is the one that I want to like more than any other because it's the one that reminds me the most of Truck Sim. And then Bus Simulator 18, I just find the play area to be a little bit too small. And the same thing, you're seeing the same rendered faces and hearing the same rendered voice clips over and over. And I found it to be difficult to get immersed in that. Now, the one that I'm sort of hoping turns into something is Lotus, which is made by the Fernbus developers. Right through here, yep. That one we got. Okay. Ed, how player is this? You think somebody's doing this right now? You think somebody is down at the bottom of a quarry? Let's find neutral here. There's neutral, set the brake. You think somebody's down at the bottom of a quarry, curled up in the sleeper of a truck? I bet there is. Statistically, somewhere in the world, I bet there is. So Lotus is made by the same crew that is developing, or the same crew that did develop OMSI. And it is buses, trams, and I think there's one other. Yeah, that's... I find that really... I'm not okay with that, right? If I could turn that off, I would, but I didn't see a place to turn it off. Kind of stuck with it. So Lotus is sort of where my bet is right now, that can be something cool. I love the idea of trams. I don't know what it is about trams. There's that autism again. I just think trams are the coolest things. I would love to be able to drive a tram. So we'll see if Lotus goes anywhere. I have to say, unless there are some radical improvements planned for the look of the game, it doesn't look like much. So it could be, again, a game that's focused more on the content and the gameplay itself rather than on the look and feel. But I think those two, in 2021, I feel like those two can be sort of intertwined. You know what I mean? It's not 1995 anymore. I think an expectation of really good immersive graphics in a video game is not unreasonable. Yeah, I hope Lotus turns into something, but I don't know. I mean, if it ends up... Because OMSI came out when? Like 2013 or something? 2016? If Lotus ends up looking like 2013 era OMSI, but with trams added, that's not doing it for me. But I'm hoping Lotus... I'm hoping that goes somewhere. But other than that, yeah, I have not been able to find a bus simulator that really works for me. And I feel like in the same way that Microsoft Flight Simulator 20 sort of putting the arm down on dead stick, whether it was intentional or not, I feel like if... Put some windows up here. I feel like if SCS brought good bus service in, it would... A lot of these bus simulators would just kind of shrivel and die as a franchise. Because it is something people do want. I mean, you can get mod buses for Truck Sim, so it is something people want. But I'd like to see the full dispatch, where you pick the route you want to drive, whether you want to drive a local or an express, and then you do have to exit at every single city, fight your way through traffic, get to the station, drop off and pick up, and maintain your schedule. I think that would be fantastic. Edinburgh for the trams? Hell yeah. Man, the subway in Glasgow, I've never been on anything like that in my life. The first time I rode it, it feels like a carnival ride. You're just getting thrown around. It feels like a roller coaster, and there's that unbelievable noise and squealing. Come on, Glasgow. Get it together now. All right. And this is... Oh, wow, we're an hour in, and this is our first... I thought we were going to be making a lot of little local runs, but... Oh, easy. All right, here we go. And we may be late. If we got the customers expecting delivery very soon notice while we were asleep, then we will be late. And we're not hurting for money right now, and our drivers, our staff has leveled up. I think we're making like 40,000, 50,000 a day. So we're not hurting for money. But I still hate to be late. So the only other truck I have skinned at the moment is the DAF. Oh, but we won't be at a garage. I was thinking maybe we could swap the truck out for the next... Slowly, carefully. I was thinking we could swap the truck out for the next leg, but... Glasgow subway it's mental. There's something very Scottish about it. That's my people. That's my heritage, and they are definitely... I don't know, man. For a very very sort of somber, very poetic, Robbie Burns kind of culture. They are definitely on the meme side as well. Yeah, same thing, Fried. I've heard rumors, but nothing definite. And as far as people noticing bus stations, one of the counterpoints to that is, yeah, it's called scenery. They're just putting scenery in. It's not ever going to be functional. So I don't know, but I think if they did do that, that would be fantastic. I would love to see it. And of course, all of this is in the context of ETS2, right? Just outside Glasgow? Right on. I was there for about 6 months. And I really, really loved it. I like old cities. I like Prague. I like Vienna. I like Glasgow. So good right here. Carefully. No traffic. Beautiful. All right, Fried. Thanks for stopping by, my friend. I'll see you soon. And just look for either myself or... There we go. There's our first notice. I think we'll be on time. Look for myself or... I think everybody has admin now. So if you're in the server with anybody, they can either add you or make you an admin and you can add yourself. All right. Take care, brother. Trying to be kind of careful through. I can see the delivery. I can see the marker on screen now. So I think we're going to be on time. If we're late, hopefully it won't be too bad. Ideally, we're not late at all. What is this? This looks new. Is that deliberate? Is that supposed to look like that? Yeah, I think that's a monument? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Memorial? No. I don't think you could have a memorial for a train. This is where the train died. What would you call that? You know, it's a thing. When and if they do bring this game forward, I can't imagine what it's going to look like. And I couldn't imagine this game with next-gen graphics. They just need to be so careful, though, that they don't exclude part of their player base. And we're running out of fuel. Golly. Oh, yeah, I forgot this truck. I don't know why my trucks always end up with small fuel tanks. But somehow they do. All right, do we have fuel here? No, I think this is just a toll. Yeah. We can... Whoa, easy. We can sleep, we can pay a toll, we can't get fuel. All right. Well, if we can at least get to the drop-off, then we can fill up immediately afterwards. And it looks like it's fairly close. I can see it up there. And I really want the devs to make Fast Pass for real in this game. I want there to be... Because the Fast Pass we have on the glass right now, it's all just display. It's just static item, doesn't do anything. But if they made it so you had to level up to use Fast Pass, and then buy one of those things and put it up there, and that was the only way you had access to the Fast Pass lane, I would love that. All right. Trying to go a little bit fast here. Oh, wow, we are really low on fuel. I thought we'd be on like an eighth of a tank, but we are, you know what I'm saying? Like the needle is resting on the pin. All right, well, I hope this works. Yeah, I hope we're just going right up there. And I don't even know if we're passing any fuel between here and there, so I think the first of the two, the place we'll get to first is our yard. But I don't even know if we're going to make it. And I think, oh, you know what? We can check it this way. Hang on. If I do this carefully. Speed, fuel info. We got 126 kilometers in the tank. Do we have 126 kilometers to go? Oh, God. 150 kilometers. All right, so if we don't pass fuel, we're not going to make it. I mean, we can try to drive as carefully, as conservatively as possible. But I don't think we're going to make up 30 kilometers. All right. I mean, this is what you get for not paying attention. And we can coast down one of these hills. I don't see anything on the map. Now we may get into a fuel stop like right before we get to the town. But again, I don't know if it would be like 30 kilometers from our delivery, so it might not benefit us. Anything there? No. Wait, yes? Did that say fuel? I think it did. Yes, yes. Look at that. I don't want to get so excited that I wad the truck up. Almost just rolled it going around that bend. Oh, unbelievable. Perfect luck. Here we go. I wanted to look for, I don't know if it's possible with the trailer that we have on, since we're running an owned trailer. But I was wondering about trying to get to the power plant that's in the Vive La France DLC. What's it called? Nucleon? Thought about trying to get to Nucleon. I don't know what cities it's in, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not terribly stressed about it. But I do like heading out there. I think I've only been there once or twice. All right, windows up. Oh, so glad we found a fuel stop. What? What? Did we hit something? What just happened? Oh, that was the, yeah, it's after you pull away that your total comes off. I thought we hit something. Maybe we did. I don't know. I'll check the replay. Thought I was far enough over. All right, now where are we going? Dijon. That's where they make that mustard. All right. And I'll keep putting these skins on. Every time we're going to drive a new truck, I'll just convert the skin over for it. All the aircraft are done. I still need to do all my cars in iRacing. That is a pain in the ass. Really is, because they use they've got the, is it specular lighting? Is it PBR? Is it MDMA? What's it called? Where you can have different textures. So I try to keep most of my cars like matte finish carbon fiber, and then have the company colors as gloss paint on other parts of the car. But it takes a minute to build one of those. So I'm sort of stalling on that. But all the planes are done. And what else? I thought about skinning a tractor, like fully skinning it, but I don't know. It seems like it's just not a thing that's done. I've never really seen a branded tractor for like an agriculture company. Good gear. There's a good gear. This very cautious person. There you go. We may be able to filter by company in the dispatch menu. If we can filter and see everything that's going to Nucleon, then we'll try that. There we go. I feel like there weren't that many of them because I was trying to get an achievement. Yeah, I think you get something for going to all the Nucleon facilities. There we go. I was trying to go to all the Nucleon facilities, and there's 4 of them or 6 of them or something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I were going to roleplay it, I'd say, you know, some big multinational that owns corporate farms. So it doesn't really fit that a small country farm in the UK would be owned by a big corporation. But I don't know, maybe on a big German map. I haven't found a way to make it look right, other than it's just straight up ego stroking where every single vehicle I have in every single sim and game, whoa, FPS surge, right? Every single thing I drive in any sim has to be branded. So I think the trucks and the planes make perfect sense, but outside of that, it does, you know, it feels a little forced. And the cars, I guess, that feels right too, to have branding for race cars. But I don't know, tractors, for the most part, they don't seem like a branded item, other than the brand of the tractor itself. I can give it a try, though. The only thing is, well, yeah, that'd be solo only, SP only. So we didn't get into edited base game tractors just for the skin. Oh, careful, careful. Steady. All right, I think we made it. I think we're in Dijon. Yep, we made it. Fantastic. All right, and we got the one warning as far as being on time. I think we're going to be a little bit late. I'd say we're probably going to be like 1 hour late. How are we going to get across this road? It's so busy. We can just sort of poke out here. Maybe we'll... Oh, it's not too bad. All right. Good over here, good over here. Beautiful. Hey, Enterprise, how you doing? Yeah. I mean, I think it's like the modding NL team. That would be Netherlands, would it not? I think the modding NL team, the way they roleplay it, they've got a full-blown industrial agriculture corporation, and they logo and brand some equipment It's not, I mean, it's very well done. It's not over the top, but I think it would apply to a very specific type of farming, and that it might work well for the maps that they build. But I think if I did it, like I said, it would look forced. It would look out of place on a small UK map. But the Sunstrip idea, I like. That could work. Enterprise, I am fantastic. Another very good day. All right, so we made it to Dijon. I say an hour or two late. Turn right, okay. And I'm gonna get these axles up. Right through there and right over here. All right, so let's get down to neutral, windows down. It's 2 in the afternoon, don't need to turn lights on. Engine is off. How'd we do? Yeah. 2 hours late. Okay. I think if I wouldn't have missed that first turn, everything would have been different. I think. And we did just sleep, so we can take another job right now. Hang on, before I do that, I'm going to mute for just a second, take my hoodie off. Hang on. And have some water. All right, so let's see what we can get going out of here. Let's see if we can filter first for Nucleon. And I know we can't take it because we do have a trailer on. But can we filter by, so we would want recipient. Who cares where we pick it up? We just wanted to go to, yeah, let's try here. It's going to be too big. Yeah, I don't know what the best way to filter. We can filter like this. Hang on. If we go here, and then we go here, and just type in, all right, or not. Interesting. So I guess that's only within the cargo. Huh. All right. Well, let's see what's going on here. Then we'll go back to the cargo market and let's see what we can haul staying in France. We haven't gone there yet. That's 800K. That's a little bit long. Let's see if we can find something maybe not quite as far because we're, coming up on an hour and a half. That's pretty far. Paris, 440K. That might be a winner right there. Take some carrots to Paris. Test. Unknown what's in there. It's a mystery cargo. Lyon, not quite long enough. So I think carrots to Paris is going to be, this is our play right here. Okay. So we'll accept that. Lift axle is up on the back. Yep. Let's hop in here. Here we go. And we want that. Brakes off. Rolling. We're going right here. Oh, that was easy. Okay. Right. Let's see what we got here. Down to neutral. Brake. And I didn't even see what this paid. I just took it. 14 grand. That's not bad for 400K. Take it. All right. Brakes. Oh, stay in there. Yep, I got it. It's not super pretty, but I mean, it's all in there. It's all in there. All right, windows down. Engine off. Let's get loaded up. So we want this one down. We want that one up till we get out of town. Yeah, it's the same thing. Is that just a coincidence? But that green for the intermodal containers, that's identical to the base green in my paint scheme. Is that just a coincidence? I don't know, man. That seems odd. All right, brakes off. Windows up. Here we go. And we want to take a right out of here. Yep. Yeah, I like it. And I found a mod for cargo containers. And there is a way to make your own brand. But then in the thread, people that take any type of, people that take anything too seriously, I wouldn't say that they're funny. Because that's, I don't want somebody's, I would never want the way somebody is to be amusing to me. Unless they're trying to be funny. And these people are not trying to be funny, but they take it so seriously. And there was like this whole debate in the thread on the SCS Soft forum about this mod, and people were really upset that as an owner-operator, you don't pick the containers that you carry. You just, when you get to the port, you just pick the dispatch. You don't pick the actual container, right? You just say, I want to haul something to wherever, Warsaw. And they give you a list of all the containers that are going to Warsaw, and whatever, I don't know how that process is done, bidding, or you just request one, but you can't pick a specific company. And trucking companies, for the most part, don't own their own intermodal shipping company. And the big intermodal shipping companies, like International Cargo Container Shipping, the companies that own the freighters, they don't own truck companies. So the debate was, would you ever see a truck that was branded? The truck is branded up front, and then the boxes on the back are branded as well. And the answer was no, not in real life. So, all right, take the fun out of everything. Courtesy. Oh, sir. All right. Not going? Going. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, Ernie. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be a nice detail, but not super realistic. All right, we're on our way. We did just sleep. We got a full fuel tank. So I think we're okay on both sleep and fuel to make it 400K. And I think, yeah, we'll probably call it there because that'll be hopefully close to 2 hours. Not hopefully like I want to be done. I mean, I always try to bring it in right at the 2 hour mark. And what is happening right there? Sir, that seems, you know what I'm saying? That seems wrong. That's just truck sim being truck sim. Now, what do I do about this? I would think that I want to head out to the left, but I'm a scared because I don't think that bus can resolve itself. Yeah, so he's letting me out. Beautiful. That had to be him responding to my turn signal. Was that the AI responding to the turn signal or the blockage in general? Because he stopped way back there. Not like he was letting me out. It just worked out that way. Okay, so I'm comfortable saying that it's not my spawn setting that's messing everything up. All right, there's a green arrow. Let's get on through here. I did have my traffic spawn turned up a little bit, and I thought maybe that could be contributing. But yeah, no. That's not on me. That's not anything that I did to the game. I was in Train Sim World 2 the other day. I was driving the TGV, and I was thinking that in X-Plane, I never have a HUD, right? It's because in Train Sim World, that's like if you have a HUD up, oh, you're just a console kid, right? You're not playing it for real, like a real trade sim. And I was thinking in X-Plane, there is no HUD. You don't have the option of a HUD. Well, no, I take that back. You can. I think you can have some graphical overlays for gauges, but I don't know of anybody who uses those. Yeah, I've heard the same, Ernie. I've heard they respond to indicators, flashers, and hazards. But I've not been able to prove that to myself conclusively. But I was thinking that I can operate an aircraft without a HUD. But I really struggle to operate a train without a HUD. But I would love to see more systems brought into Train Sim World, more active switches and more, I don't know, just more stuff to do when you're operating the train. It does seem really simple and kind of dumbed down. I mean, there's always Zeusy. If you feel that strongly about it, there's always Zeusy. But, I don't know. I tried Zeusy. I refunded it before my 2 hours were up. It's an amazing sim, but it's a proper sim. It is by no means a game. And I don't think it could ever be MP. And I'm realizing that, and again, this is one of those like evolution things. I'm realizing that like the best gaming experiences that I've had lately have all been multiplayer. Right? Whether it's iRacing or VATSIM, we got the MP server going for Farm Sim. I just feel like that's the expectation that we have of AI at this point. Our expectations of AI are so high that no AI can meet them. And we need other people to play with. We need other people to be our AI that we play against. Train sim with no HUD is too hardcore. I struggle with it because the only place it's really fun is on the German routes because they have all the safety systems. And you can turn on safety systems on like the UK routes, but there's no real penalty for them. And there were safety systems on the Northeast Corridor, but the route was so broken they didn't bring it forward to Train Sim World 2. So really the only place to use it, the best place to use it is on the German routes. But there's a couple problems. One problem is I still have not learned the signage. I've tried, man, but it is really, really complex, the sign system. I mean, maybe it'll click, and once it does, it won't seem so complex, but for now, it's just overwhelming. And then the other problem is there are occasional bugs. And that's those rail fans, those rail sim fans. And don't talk bad about their game that they like. They get very, very upset. So I have done it a couple times with no sim. No sim. Man, I'm really... I gotta go see a neurologist, man. I think too many concussions. I have done it no HUD with all safety systems turned on, but I feel like it was just a route that I had not memorized, but you know what I mean? I knew where all the bad stuff was, and because there's really not a lot of variety from run to run in Train Sim World 2, it's, if you can memorize, it seems like it's the same red signals every single time. So if you can just memorize them, and you're sort of, you know what I mean? Just do what you know is going to happen anyway. And I'm told that is accurate in real life. Most train drivers do train for a specific route. And it's more on the passenger side because they need to know where their break points are for all the station stops. And I think there's some markings for those to indicate, you know, station is 2 kilometers ahead, 1 kilometer ahead, that sort of thing. But other times you just need to learn the route. You need to memorize the route to know where the stops are. On the X-plane side, I've been flying really, really steadily back and forth from Gatwick to Glasgow. And I'm learning both airports. I'm learning the taxiways. I'm learning the SIDS and stars and just really familiarizing myself with that. And I feel like, I mean, I know in real life you wouldn't just fly into a place like De Gaulle with a crew of 2 people that had never been there before. There's too many things happening too quickly. And because you're in the flow of other aircraft, you can't just stop and figure things out. Well, I mean, when you're in the air, obviously you can't stop. But when you're on the ground, if you're taxiing and you get lost, you can't just stop. You'll cause a massive bottleneck behind you that will ripple through that airport for like the next hour and a half. So you always have to keep moving. You have to solve problems while you're on the move. And then for things like landing and exiting the runway, you've got to do that very, very quickly because there's a pattern full of planes behind you waiting to land at 2-minute intervals. So if you can't find a way to get off the runway and you stop, then they have to send the planes behind you on a go around, and turns into a big mess. So I know you wouldn't just fly into an airport for the first time not knowing it. You would do multiple trips with another pilot or first officer that knew that airport. So I guess that's what I'm replicating in SimWorld, is just learning these airports to the point where when ground or tower tells me to do something, I know the airport well enough to know, oh yeah, that's going to be over here, or I want to go to this place. So I suppose the same thing could apply to Train Sim, but I just feel like there's not enough variety in Train Sim World. The routes tend to run the same. Every time you do that trip, it goes exactly the same. Versus something like X-Plane where there's a ton of uncertainty and who knows what's going to happen. Anything could happen. And I don't know if Train Sim World, well, there's supposed to be, I think it's called Rail Sim 2021. That's supposed to drop in Q3. But again, I don't know that it's going to be, I don't know that there is ever going to be a train simulator that is on the same level of complexity and sort of interactivity and the multiplayer aspect as we have really in any flight sim. Because you can use either X-Plane or FSX or FS20 or Prepared. I've heard both. I've heard Prepare 3D and Prepared. Different people call it different things, but those are the three main flight sims. And you can use any of them on the VATSIM network. So the idea of a big railroad play area, a big yard, I think would make the most sense. But a big yard or a route or a long route with a big yard in the center of it, and the idea of 30 people operating on it simultaneously, 10 people out on the route and 20 people in the yard doing stuff, and dispatchers and people controlling different parts of the yard. It's very appealing. I just don't know if anybody's ever going to bother to do it. And it's one of those, who's going to make the first move? People can't play it. People can't demand it because it doesn't exist yet. So there's no player base for it. But the only reason there's no player base, well, I can't say the only reason, but one of the reasons there's no player base is because it doesn't exist. So, right? Somebody just builds it and hopes that there's a player base for it. I think the model exists in several areas. I think it exists when you look at the iRacing model. I think it exists when you look at the VATSIM model. I just don't know if it would make sense to extend it out to trains. Yeah, I agree, Ernie. I think it would be unbelievable to have all that going on. To know that when you get to a red signal, right, that you can get on the radio and ask the dispatcher, hey, what's going on? And when are you going to release me? And they tell you, I'm waiting for southbound traffic to clear, and your wait will be 8 minutes. Okay, perfect. That's what happens in the real world. So I would love to see that. I don't know if it would ever happen. But the interactivity and the way that playing with other people is becoming, I think, more and more, not the only way to play a game. Wow, we're sleepy already? Golly. I wouldn't say it's the only way to play, but if a developer has the money to invest either in AI or in eliminating netcode, and I know netcode is kind of an archaic term, it doesn't really apply anymore, but it's like if a dev has the choice to improve their AI or improve their multiplayer, it's going to be multiplayer every time, because that's who people want to play with the most. Do we want to... I think we can fast pass here. Let's slide over. Yeah, let's slide over one and we'll try to... Whoa, try to fast pass. Train Sim World 2 was supposed to have multiplayer. And it's one of the things that got left off the list, but it's supposed to be a part of the game. I don't even know what it would look like. I don't know if there would be a dispatch aspect. I feel like the dispatch part, whether people are articulating it or not, I feel like the dispatch aspect, and we have to sleep now. I just saw that we are red. I don't know how we got red so fast. I'm going to be a real a-hole right here. Pardon me, folks. Excuse me. I don't know if you would just be operating trains or if there would be a dispatcher, but I think the dispatcher, it's not that it's key, but I think that would be a big part of making it really interesting and really exciting for MP. Let's get pulled right up here. I just saw a big chat come in, so put the windows down, set the brakes, parking lights on, engine is off, third person, standby. Let me read this. Yeah, Ernie, it's I don't know. It's just what people do. We connect. We always find some way to connect with one another. 5 a.m. Perfect. All right, and how long? Let's take a look before we get started. How long do we have for this job? Is it here? We have 5 hours to get there. We don't have to sleep for 10 hours. So I think, let's get this reset. I think that's going to work. I hope. All right, lights on. Brakes off. Windows up. Yeah, there's just something about, maybe it's in our DNA, maybe it's in our souls, I don't know. There's just something really different about interacting with a real person versus interacting with an AI, no matter how good that AI is. And there is some unbelievably good AI for Race Sim. R-Factor 2 and Race Room are really, really good AI. Assetto Corsa Competizione, really good AI, but there has never been a time when I was racing against the AI in any of those sims where I felt nearly the same adrenaline as I do in iRacing, fighting for like 10th place with 1 lap to go, right? I'm not going to win this race. I'm not a podium, not a top 5, nothing. And even if I did win the race or get a top 5 or a podium or whatever, you really get nothing, right? I'm a low split. There's no money at stake here. There's absolutely nothing at stake here, even for first, and I'm nowhere near first. And yet you still get that adrenaline rush. You still get that buzz. It's just different to interact with people than it is to interact with AI. So that would be, if I was a developer, I would be telling my team, we need to focus on ways to allow people to play together and be each other's AI and be each other's dispatchers, and all the things that we sort of look to AI to do. Although in something like Truck Sim, we don't really think of it as AI. But I mean, if this game had a module, right, a secondary component that was strictly management, right, where you're the dispatcher, you put the jobs up, and you're going to pay a certain price for them, and eventually it would stabilize into an economy where the people that pay the best rates to have jobs delivered, it's not that they make the most money, but there's a sweet spot there, right? Like if you pay the most, you go out of business because you're overpaying just to get drivers to select your jobs. But if you underpay to stay profitable, then nobody's going to take your job. So it would find a stasis. But if there was a mini game within Truck Sim where you were running the dispatch, right, where it was your virtual company, now rather than all the jobs being randomly selected, that's the first time I've seen that. That car that went by just now had a neon kit under it. I've never seen that before. I don't know if that's new or if it spawns. You know what I'm saying? A very rare spawn. I'm going to sneak over here in front of this person. So yeah, I think there's an opportunity for that in a lot of games. Now, in fairness, for something like Truck Sim and probably a lot of other titles, they're not going to bother doing that because the infrastructure and the code for that type of, right, like for SCS as an example, the code for the AI dispatch already exists. They're not going to rewrite it and create that mini game in there. But I do think for virtually any game like this that you can think of, there is an opportunity to replace some of the functions in the game that are at the moment carried out by code, replace them with an opportunity for a person to do that. Is this one of these power plants? No way. Maybe. Yeah, I think this is one of these Nucleon facilities. Okay. So this is what we were looking for. Let's take a look at the overhead map after we get into this town up here and see if it is. What we may do is just drive over there to end the episode. But I'm pretty sure... Are they? Can we even get over there? No, that's something else. Those aren't big enough. I thought those were cooling towers for one of the power plants. All right. Trying to stay centered in my lane here. It's not really working. We can turn those off. And I can't imagine what gaming's going to look like in another 5 or 10 years. I sort of feel bad when, yeah, Paris. I forgot we were going to Paris. Yeah, there's probably not too many nuclear power plants in Paris. I think they be a little difficult to get that zoned. I think so, Ernie. I think that there are a lot of people. I mean, there are standalone games you can get where you are the air traffic controller, and then the planes are controlled by AI. Hang on, let me get through here. You know, they say that even random number generators, they're not really random. Yeah, they're pretty close, but they're not really random. And one of the only ways to truly randomize something is to do it like via some type of analog method. Like shuffling a deck of cards. Goes straight? What? And I can't remember what the numbers are, but it's like if you bridge shuffle a deck of cards 7 times, they are effectively completely randomized. Oh. In a way that even an RNG can't duplicate. Something like that. I read that in a book about science or something. But I guess what I'm wondering is, can AI ever have the unpredictability and the sort of personality that people have? You know, that's what makes people that's what makes people so interesting, is their quirks and their flaws and their sins. You know, that's been my experience. Whereas computers, what they do is they do things sort of very accurately, and they're very repetitive. They can do the same thing over and over very, very quickly with a high degree of accuracy. And that is sort of not what people do. That is the opposite of a person. So maybe AI is just never going to be as good at being random and sort of screwing up, you know? And that's what we're getting when we interact with people, is we're getting the random. All right, I will probably do this in 2 swings, but we'll see. And I think we're going to call it. Yeah, we're coming up on 2 hours. We'll go ahead and call it. And then tomorrow, I don't know. Probably do some farm sim. If I can get my lag sorted out, I'd like to do some MP. Whoa, straighten it out. We get it? Maybe. Just about to cut it. Oh, so close. If I would have cut it like 1 second sooner, a millisecond, a microsecond, would have slipped it right in there. All right, do this while we're here. I don't think this makes any difference. I think it's just visual. Whether having your lift axles up or down increases or decreases your turning radius, I've never heard any definite answers on that either. But I think if we were getting backed in here, we would definitely have these up. All right, so right about in there. Neutral, set the brake. Windows are down. It's 7 in the morning, so we won't need our parking lights. Engine is off. Let's see how we did. On time. All right, 1 out of 2. 15 grand. I'll take it. Well, 14. I round up. All right. There you go. Yeah, we'll do. Let's do some farm sim tomorrow, and then Tuesday. I mean, that Gatwick midweek madness is every Wednesday at 1 p.m. my time. So Wednesday we will do X-Plane on VATSIM out of Gatwick. So we'll do farm tomorrow, Monday, X-Plane on Wednesday definitely, and as far as Tuesday, I don't know. We'll figure that out between now and then. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate you. You're an awesome audience. See you tomorrow. Take care.